What is the apartheid?
The apartheid from 1934 and the 1994 in South Africa was a racial segregation under the all-white government of South Africa, which dictated that non-white South Africans were required to live in separate areas from whites and use separate public facilities, and the contact between the two groups would be limited.
Apartheid was a system of racial divisions that existed in South Africa from 1948 to 1994. The system established strict rules that separated people on racial basis and restricted the rights of non-white people. Under this system, people of different races were forced to live separately from each other, attend different schools, hospitals and public places, as well as receive different employment and political opportunities. In the late 40s, the first manifestation of oppositions to apartheid emerged. In 1952, the Congress of Popular Resistance, African National Congress, was established, which advocated the abolition of apartheid and fought for the civil rights of all South Africans, regardless of their race. Mandela, who was a leader of the African National Congress, became one of the most prominent figures in the struggle against apartheid. In 1962, he was arrested for sedition and attempt to overthrow the government. He was sentenced to life imprisonment, which he spent in prison on Robben Island for 27 years. In 1990, after many years of struggle and international efforts, the South African government announced the end of apartheid. In 1944, the first free elections were held in South Africa, in which Mandela was elected the first black president of the country. Nelson Mandela has become a symbol of struggle for the rights and freedoms of all South Africans. He was a leader of many social movements and also received the Nobel Peace Prize in 1923 year for his contribution to bringing peace and ending conflicts in South Africa.
We conducted an online survey about apartheid, and the first question was about the system of racial discrimination that existed in South Africa, and more than half of the people know about the tragic part of the history of South Africa, and the rest of the people survived did not know about it.
In the third question, we wanted to ask people if they are familiar with the history of South Africa and its struggle for the rights of citizens. According to the results of the survey, 8 of 50 people were not familiar with the history of South Africa and its struggle for the rights of citizens. The rest of people were familiar with this.
Racial division of people is a phenomenon that is condemned in most countries of the world. This contradicts the basic principles of equality and respect for the individuality of each person. Inequality based on race can lead to discrimination, violation of rights, and deprivation of opportunities for people of certain racial groups. The existence of systems that divide people by race can lead to the creation of problems and conflicts in society. This can be especially disruptive when such systems are supported by the government or other power structures. Instead of creating divisions based on race, it's necessary to strive to build a more just and equal society where everyone can achieve their goals and realize their potential regardless of race. It's important to create equal opportunities for all, as well as to fight discrimination and inequality in all its manifestations. All the survey participants expressed a negative attitude to the division of people into racial categories. Then it can be concluded that most people don't support this approach. This may indicate that there is a general tendency among people of different ages to overcome racial differences and strive for a more just and equal society. The results of the survey can be used to support and promote efforts to combat racial discrimination and create a more tolerant and inclusive society. However, it's important to keep in mind that the survey results represent the opinion of only those who took part and may not reflect the opinions of all people. Therefore, it's necessary to conduct additional research and surveys to get a more complete picture and different points of view on this problem.
Nelson Mandela was a South African anti-apartheid revolutionary political leader who served as president of South Africa from 1994 to 1999. He dedicated his life to fighting against apartheid, a system of racial segregation, discrimination that was enforced in South Africa by governments, and Mandela have such leaders like Oliver Tambo, Walter Sisulu, and Desmond Tutu worked tirelessly in the apartheid democratic and inclusive society in South Africa. And their efforts might lead to the end of apartheid and the establishment of new democratic governments in South Africa. Overall, The efforts Mandela and the anti-apartheid leaders were critical in bringing and ends one of the most progressive system governments in modern history, and they bring about positive change in the world.
Our next question is, what are your thoughts on how justice and equality can be achieved in a society where racial discrimination exists? The most part voted for the 60% voted for the no idea button. Others voted for the nothing. The few part says that we should organize meeting against those people who are against other races, who supports racism. Like this, it will help. Another part says that we should keep talking on this problem. We should always talk about this problem. They are sure that it will help. Some of them voted for that we should confirm that there are no bad races or confessions.
Today, apartheid is widely recognized as a
In
dark chapter
conclusion,
in South Africa's history, and its legacy continues to shape country's social and political landscape. However, the end of apartheid also serves as a powerful reminder of the importance of human rights, democracy, and equality of people, regardless of their race, ethnicity, or the background.